Hi, it's Bernie Slavin here. Thanks for joining me on Facebook and YouTube Live. And thanks as always to sponsors, Galaxy Blinds, Cornerstone, GRS Insulation, Cleveland Systems Engineering, Ultimate Windows, Ocean Lighting, Dovecote Advanced Utility Solutions, and TGM Cars. Well, we're building up. Comments will appear. Nothing as yet. So that was the thanks to the sponsors. The team, if you don't know, the team today was Glover, Engel, Van den Berg, Fry, Ailing, Belazer, O'Brien, Hackney, Foz and Azaz. That was the starting lineup. And on the bench was McGree. Great to see McGree back from his international duty. Silvera, he returned as well, come off the bench. Thomas, the lad from Leicester. Dieng, he's returned from international duty. Clark, Gilbert, Dick Steelhausen and Paddy McNair. That was the lineup. That was the substitutes. What game did I see? I'll be brutally honest, as I like to think I always am. The first half was probably the worst I've seen and witnessed since Michael Carrick came in. The first half was predictable. There was a nerve. Defensively, we were naive, we were slow, sluggish, and Bristol scored 2 goals within a minute. I think it was 16th, 17th minute, 2 goals they scored. And at half time, the only blessing was we weren't 4 down. They should have scored 4 or 5. I think we had one chance in the first half. It was Aidan Hackney back stick. I think he caught between his feet. But they tore us to shred first half. We looked like amateurs. We looked like a pub team first half. That's how bad we were. If I was playing, I'd be saying the same thing. Second half was much better. We improved. We threw on the subs. Some people said too late, but we got them on. And we kept chipping away. And we kept creating, but we kept missing them. Keeper made a few great saves, but where the great saves are bad finishing, there was about 3 down the keeper's throat where he parried them. It looked spectacular saves, but for me, if you hit the middle of the goal, you don't deserve to score. There was one that Foz came in, turned, great hit, fizzed by the right-hand post. We scored a goal eventually in the, I think it was the 92nd minute. And that was it. 2-1. Didn't deserve it out of the game. I mean, a lot of people frustrated in the lounges. Now I do talks in there. Frustrated. The one thing I'll say, if you like, I mean, I've not mentioned on here, Crooks is gone, right? Some people like, I like Crooks. Yeah, he was hitty missy. He wasn't a regular. He was when he first came in. He came in 2021. He gave us good shifts. He worked hard, blew a gasket to get taken off. He would always create something, score a goal or 2. You could always rely on him maybe nick a goal. But when I read during the week that Crooks has gone to the MLS and I read quotes from people at the club saying, but his family want to go and we're about to that because they want to go. Well, who comes first? If you're the husband and the father, the family comes first. No ifs or buts. But that against the football club when he's getting an 18-month contract, I don't get it. I'd say, big man, you're going nowhere. We've let a few go. We've let Rodgers go. We let young Kavanagh go. We cannot allow another player to go through that door. The window's closed. I know the MLS doesn't count because it's America. But I have to say, no, I'm sorry. You just need to stay put to the summer and then we can look at the MLS. So who do we please? The family, which is the father's job and the husband's job, or the 7,000 fans? I know who I would. I'm a fan. I want Crooks to stay. When I see nobody come in the window, i.e. a striker, and by all accounts we're going to be looking and delving into the free market, meaning people who didn't cost anything. So I don't know, but today I had a bad vibe going into the game. There's a couple of guys I spoke to beforehand going in, two guys that worked there. And I says, I've not got a good vibe. I didn't get a good vibe when they come out the car and into the Riverside. It was a bit muted and not as vibrant and that's how it started in that first 45 minutes. First 45 minutes, as I say, there's not one most ardent, blinkered, sycophantic Borough fan can defend the indefensible. It was woeful. I didn't use the word woeful. It was that bad. We couldn't pass the ball. We couldn't retain the ball. We couldn't get near the goal. We would get done every time the ball went over the top or down the flanks. We were getting totally shreds. As I say, there was one, the lad should have rounded Glover and he hesitated, should have scored. And then there was one that they missed. As I say, they could have won 4-0 at half time. I said if I hear anybody saying bad at the office, I'll knock them out. Obviously, I'm joking about that, but no, this is becoming a theme. That's the last few games at the Riverside. Sunderland, it felt like a defeat, although we drew. The second half we were good, first half we were poor. Rotherham, poor. Chelsea, the cup game, we were great. Scored a goal, great atmosphere, everybody was hunky-dory. But in the last few games, yeah, we've huffed and puffed. And now I'm, rather than being critical, I'm sort of defending the players now. I'm thinking, if I was in the team and watching players getting sold left, right and centre, which the club are entitled to do, I don't know the financial structure, always going about that. So, Rodgers, great, unbelievable money. You've only been here 6 months, 12, 14 million, brilliant, I get it. But as a fan, a player, Carrick, none of them can be happy. The money men are, they're the guys in charge of the club, and I totally get that. And to a degree, I agree with it, although I disagree with it as a fan. If you're not investing, but maybe we can't invest. Maybe there's still money, what troubles behind it. I don't know. But when you're letting players go, you're looking for trouble. And I feel now as a former player, looking at guys like Dale Fry, who's a local lad, who's been here for years, signed a 4-year contract the other year there, looking ahead of on. We've lost a goal. Who do we look at up front? Latilaf signed. Coburn's not in the squad. We've got Greenwood up there who's a novice. He's not a centre forward. We've not brought one in. You know, it must be concerning. They must be, as we feel it as fans, as I do as a fan and former player, they must feel it. And I know they will. They won't say it publicly for the life of me. They won't say it publicly because they're frightened to death. You can't say it in detrimental or real. You have to cover up everything as a player. No, my day, now you do. You know, you prompted what he's saying, groomed what he's saying. So, yeah. Last week I read comments that are quotes for people at the club saying we've got enough cover for strikers, and now a few days later we're saying, oh, we might go into the market and get frees in. Anyway, we'll track back. So I went on, I've vented my spleen as a Borough fan. As I say, I'm beginning a little bit feel sorry for some of the players because they will feel a few years of it. Certainly me, I just feel when we lose a goal, the defenders will look and go, well, who's up front? Who's going to get us out of this hole? Who's going to get us back in the game? There's not a lot really, is there? And if players getting sold round about, you know, we lost players when I played. I get we're a selling club, totally get that. I just say, look, this might be where we are as a football club. You know, we're bobbing along, we're winning, we get beat, we drew, we're inconsistent, hit and missy, but I don't think there's any chances of going down, but there's no chances of getting that top 6. I think that fantasy's over. I never thought there was, but a lot of people did think that we're going to do it. Our gut was we weren't going to get there, but the players we lost last summer, the players we brought in unknowns, yeah, that may be the harsh reality. Maybe nobody should be criticised. This is just where we are. Nothing less than I expected. Thought would be a 3-1 result. You did say that, Leslie. I'll give you that. Richard James says, why do you think Carrick didn't make changes on the pitch until 67-ish minutes? Is his lack in the game management detrimental to the team? For Richard, do you know what, Rich? Obviously, people ask me. I'm sitting next to strangers and guys I know, and they're saying, what do you think? And they're giving their opinions. And I say, do you know what? I think I put Dick Steele on, he'll get a few changes, 3 changes. I'd have put them on at half time. But maybe he says to them, I've been in dressing rooms where the manager will say, right, I'll give you 15, 20 minutes, try and get back in the game, try and get a goal, and if it's not happening then we'll have to change things. But we come up with the same team, so maybe that was the mentality and that's how we took a wee bit of time to change it. But we did pick up second half, we were better, but we couldn't get any worse, dear God. But not good enough, not good enough. Losing the ball from kick-off is criminal offence. David Longstaff, I agree with that as well. You shouldn't lose the ball from the kick-off. That's a crime. There was no, looking at the bench, McGree, we know he's an attacking midfielder, but he's not a centre forward. So Vera, Thomas, Dieng, Clark, Gilbert, Dick Steele, House McNair, no centre forwards on the bench. So how are we going to change the course of the game if we've not brought in any centre forwards, we've let forwards go, you're looking for trouble, you're inviting it. I mean, hey, I may be talking out of turn, but I look at it and think, I'm starting to feel sorry for Michael Carrick as well, because he cannot say, like the players, he cannot come out. I read a quote the other week, I'm happy with the movement in January and what we've done. Do I believe it? No, I don't believe it. Of course I don't. How can you be happy? You're losing players left, right and centre. You've no strikers up front, no prolific goal scorers. Well, I think we've played, what is it, 31 games now? 30, 31? But we've lost more than we've won. And I thought this season would be difficult. Some people had us up there top 6. I never believed that. I'm a realist. But it's just the inconsistency, and we don't know what Borough's turning up now. And as I say, the first time today I heard boos for a long while. There was boos after we lost the second, there was boos, and then they missed a chance, there was boos. There was boos when we fannied about the back, that's my terminology. That means messing about the back. There was boos. Fans entitled to boo, but yeah. Hello, Bernie Joe Slavin, not good enough. I'm getting sick of Carrick excuses. It's for Mohammed. I didn't hear these after the match saying the club blew January window, signing a goal scorer. We need something to change badly. Aitor Carrick would have got a tune out of his squad, trust me. Well, Mohammed, I wasn't a big Carrick fan. I thought he did well. He got his promotion. We got into the game at Wembley when we get beaten in the playoff final. But he wasn't an entertainer. He certainly didn't score loads of goals. Or we didn't under his management, but what he could do is defend. The minute we can't defend and we can't score, so we've got a problem at both ends. They were for 30 minutes, no doubt about it. They were for 30 minutes, but had more than enough chances second half to get something. I agree with that as well, meaning us, Middlesbrough. They just can't finish. But we can't finish if you're bringing in players that's no background of scoring goals, who are not prolific. Tell me who's prolific. I'm fed up hearing this. Foz is a great striker, he's the best at the club. Well, if he's the best at the club, and Michael Carrick is more knowledgeable than me and you, he watches training every day, he can't be. Because there's nobody keeping him out of that position. He's been playing on the right since he arrived. So, he's either the best, I don't know where you get the best, because he scored a great goal last week. What a goal, great goal. Almost scored today, a great goal. But he didn't score today. But this prolific, he's the best striker. Well, by God, I know we're bad, but we must be really bad when we're hanging my hat on a guy who's no track record. At Middlesbrough, who's played on the wing for it since he arrived. I don't know, but you must go to training and watch him. Carry out Gary Robinson, dear God, that's a bit stiff. Hi Bernie, what is going on for the second goal they scored? Slide through, past keeper comes, then he turns around. And the ball was in the net. Defender didn't clear in front of him. Yeah, hesitant. It was just frustrating. The whole first half was frustrating. As a fan, no doubt the players were feeling it. They felt the vibes, or the lack of vibes, off the crowd. Yeah, the first half was woeful. I use the word woeful. That's a strong word, but that's what I seen. You know, they were the big number 9. I think he came off second half, but he was a handful. He scored a goal. He should have scored another before that. He ran through and he missed it. He was dodging by players. He was a big lad, I know. He looked like a big unit. Dropped the shoulder, go by a player or two, play it between the fullback and the wide man, come in, get it and have a shot. And then he put the lad in the right wing in, and he should have rounded Glover and put it in the back of the net. He failed, but the first half was frightening. It was, yeah, X-rated. Simon Denham says, hi Bernie, get your boots on fella, we are just crap up front. I can't sit here and say, all I can say is I've seen it coming. And obviously a lot of people haven't seen it coming, but this is the reality. You get really good players and don't replace them, or replace them with square pegs round holes. Well, it's not going to happen. We're gambling. We're getting through the season. We're bumbling along. I mean, now we'll be, is it 30 or 31? And I think we've won 12, and I think we can beat 13, and the rest have been draws. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think, off the top of my head, I think that's what it is. That tells you what we are. I think we're sitting 12th in the league. Don't know how many points off to. We ain't making top 6. That's the reality. We need to be realistic. Let's not kid ourselves. But a transparency wouldn't go amiss for a lot of people. tell us how it is, what it is, why it is. And I think fans can accept that and go, do you know what? Yeah, I see that. Colin Fry says, shambles of a performance. That's 2 points out of 9 the last 3 home games. Well, home games is where you hook the fans in. And obviously 2 points out of 9 is a poor return. Is a poor return. As I say, that's statistics, that's not an opinion, that's the stats. 2 points out of 9. And it's not as if we played Leicester City and Ipswich and the top team. We played Rotherham, Sunderland, this lot today. Yeah, it's frustrating. Frustrating. Carry out his depth. Fans can see this, but the club can't, Mohammed. I'm going to defend Carrick here. Carrick can't defend himself because he's in a position where he's bought into a game plan where other people control who comes in, who goes, and Carrick coaches. And you know, where was Young Coburn the day he's injured? Where's he get injured? Is he not in the team deliberately? With no strikers, I mean, Greenwood's not a striker, he's up front. Coburn's not even on the squad. When you're 2-0 down at half time, bringing on the same team at half time is not alternative. That's for David. I mean, I would have changed it, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. Getting rid of Crooks now shows the recruitment team have no idea. As I say, Crooks gone. I'm a fan. I'm not a businessman, I'm a fan. And if I was Carrick, yeah, I couldn't work in the restraints. I couldn't do a job like that, no matter what, if it was football at any level or any job. When other people are picking players to bring in and telling you who to sell, I'd have been saying, the January window's closed and you're going to shift Crooks now. Michael Carrick says, well, his family wanted to go, so why should we stand his way? Why should we stand his way, Michael? Because you're the coach. I don't know. I think you're a nice guy. I've heard you're a very good coach. But there's times you need to go, do you know what? If you punt him, you know, there's trouble ahead. What is going on? Crooks isn't about everybody's favourite, but it's another body, it's another guy you can turn to and say, he'll fill a hole, he might get us a goal, we know what he's about, he's meant to be a character, good in the dressing room. Characters are important. You can't get about with 15 bores in the dressing room or 20 who are boring. You need a character in there, and by all accounts, I don't know the lad for Adam, but by all accounts, he was a character. So we've lost a character, a guy who can chip in with goals, a guy who costs us next to nothing, who's been loyal to us, who's did his best for us. Just gone because his family want to go to the MLS in America, because we've did the window business now where he can go there because obviously he's not under the rules over here. But for me, what we doing? Letting players go because they want to go. 18 months his contract. Do you please the family of 4 or 5, how many he's got, I don't know about his kids, or do you please the 28,000? Come on. I don't get it. Anybody ask that question, I don't get it. I'm not in a position to ask anybody at the club that. Season has wrote off, huge summer. This is from, let's see, Borough Fan 86. Season has been more or less written off, huge summer for the board and recruitment team. If they don't get it right, there'll be serious questions asked. David Goldsborough says, Bernie. Hindsight may be a wonderful thing, I says that, but foresight is even better. Aye, that's nice. I like that terminology, the way you put it. I agree with that. We needed to change the team at half time. Anybody could see that. Well, I would have, David, as I say, I was getting asked my opinion, and I said, well, I think there'll be 3 changes at half time. There wasn't, so I was surprised. So yeah, I get it. Foresight is a great thing as well. Yeah. Battler need to be dropped for the rest of this. Oh, Belazer, I think you mean Belazer. Sorry, Chris. Belazer needs to be dropped for the rest of the season. Burnley, awful performance. I don't think you can cherry pick one today. Dear God, was there anybody good? Evening, Burnley, with you being an ex-striker, what's your thoughts when you see 3 midfielders up front? Me, personally, being me, embarrassing. Not good for the team's morale. Doesn't fill the team with a feel-good factor and thinking we'll get out of trouble today. They're looking up and saying Greenwood's not a centre forward. Rodgers was up there and scored a few goals in the cup, scored a great goal at Chelsea, although we get hammered. He's gone. We've sold young Kavanagh. Come on, what? Yeah, we're just looking for trouble. So for me, I've read the quote for Michael Carrick during the week where he says still got a balance. I never seen a balance today. I seen an imbalance. There's no balance today. It's more likely we're going to be in a relegation battle than getting the players. We're not going in the players, but I don't think we'll be in a relegation battle. But hey, Christopher Abel says Hackney crap first half, but had a better second half. Yeah, Aiden was off the pace along with the team. Don't forget he's one of the younger, although he's been in the team for a couple of years now, consistently and regular. Yeah, he's finding it tough as well. As I say, there's loads of speculation about, well, I don't read papers, but I see it in social media through the papers, and Hackney's so-and-so's looking at him, and so his eye might be taking off the ball as well. And now he's thinking, do you know what? Everything's getting sold around about me, and we're not as good as when I first came in the team. Last year we were terrific. Carrick and the team were brilliant last year. Unfortunately, our loans and all buggered off, but we were good to watch, good in the eye, best football we've played for years. I loved every minute of it. I loved every game. Even if we didn't win every game, it was exciting, it was entertaining. But this season it's been huffing and puffing and frustrating, and it's not been good enough. But as I say, when things are getting ripped up in front of you, Carrick must be pulling his hair out. He must be. He's too, as I say, he's in a position where he can't say. He's bought into what the club's trying to do, is get young raw diamonds, polish them and sell them for millions. We've seen it firsthand with Rodgers. He's only 6 months into his contract. He's only 21. He's part of the future supposedly. In 6 months he's gone in a flash overnight. We've made a boatload of money. Great business, a football club, magnificent business. But for Carrick, it's not good business, because it's his head that's in a block. And he'll be knowing that now. Without saying it publicly, he'll know that now. He's not getting the major decision, but he's going to be the one that gets a chop. We definitely need a striker 100%. But Barbara Lane, anybody with any ounce of knowledge in football knows we need a striker. Every team, they don't grow in trees, I get that. And the best ones cost loads of money. But we cannot just keep getting guys away and no replace them, thinking we're just going to put Foz up front and he's going to buy in 15 for the end of the season. It's not going to happen. You're living in cuckoo land. No words, Bernie, this was always going to happen when we don't get anybody in. Sunderland haven't had a striker all season. This is for Stephen Bentley. But they still score goals. We are terrible to watch. Carrick is losing the fans. I'm still behind Carrick, and I know it must be really difficult for him. And I sympathise with Carrick and the players now. I'm sympathising with both now. I've been critical in the weeks gone by, but no, I'm looking in a different direction, thinking, well, if Carrick's not in total control, which he's not, like any coach up and down the country, they buy into this format. He knows the reality now and how tough it is when things only going your way, and then you're being told to sell him and we're going to get rid of him, and it must be really, really frustrating, even for a cool, calm, calculated guy. Carrick, I mean, his demeanour looks super cool, and I remember chatting to Chuba Akpom, who says he was like Wenger to a degree. I don't mean with his knowledge of football and his coat, but just with his style and his mannerisms and his demeanour, cool and calculated. But there comes a stage when even the cool, calculated man gets frustrated and things heat up, and he must be at that stage now. And he's, as I say, the boost today came 20 minutes in, because we lost 2 goals in 2 minutes. McGree not starting in the lack of pace in this team. Colin, I didn't think, I said when I was asked, I said great to see McGree back, but I had a feeling that he'd be on the bench. I'm not saying that's the right decision, I don't think it is. But I thought he'd be on the bench, and he was. Tony Wedlick says, I was gobsmacked when he says we didn't need a proven striker in the window. That was a polite way of saying he had been told nobody was coming in. Akpom and Rodgers sold for good money. Nobody is worth any credibility who's come in. And that's a fair point, Tony. You know, Michael Carrick did say that. Oh, we've got a nice balance. We don't need a striker in. Well, why are we looking at the free market for a striker? That's the word in the street. Might be only a load of tosh, but there's more chance of getting somebody in the free than we were spending money before the deadline. I predicted that would happen. Rodgers would go, we would go into, after the window closes, with no striker, and that's exactly what's happened. So maybe I see beyond it's just a difficult period for everybody. And the thing is, I get what the money men at the club are doing. I totally get it. I get what they're trying to do, rather than bring loan players in and they head off to the parent clubs and then we're left to pick up the pieces. No, I've said for years, foundations made of sand, and that's what's happened. Now we're bringing them in bulk in the summer for all 4-year contracts. So I get what the club's trying to do, but has the modern fan got the patience? The director of football, the chairman, the chief exec, I don't think they have. Today proved they've not. I'm not winding it up, I'm just being realistic. It's frustration now. Fans have no patience. I get the whole thing. I'm sure Carrick gets the whole thing the club's trying to do. I totally get it. I mean, somebody accused me today. I think I'm the most straight talking guy out of anybody I've played with, and my mates would back me in that. I'm in the lounge today. Somebody said, had to go Steve Gibson. I says, listen, Steve Gibson has spent money on Rudy Gestead, Bamford for a second time, Michael Ricketts, dare I say Michael Ricketts, and all these players. I said he squandered, saying 5-6 players, 50-60 million, probably bound to somebody's knowledge and saying, all right, I'll pay that. There must be a time he goes, do you know what? We ain't doing that now. I'm recouping the hard-earned cash that I put in. I'm not a billionaire, I'm a millionaire. So when I say that, and I mean that, I'm moaning now, we're not spending, but we have spent millions on donkeys. I've said it on here loads. But Steve Gibson's been probably other people's minds and saying and advising them, oh, these are the ones to get. And he's watched them and thought, I'm not doing it. I'm bringing in young lads, next to nothing, peanuts, polish them up and sell them on for millions. And that's what he's proven with Rodgers. That's the way he wants to go. And a guy in the lounge, half pissed obviously, stands up. Dude, I couldn't hear him because he's not mic'd up. And I said, say that again, mate. And then he starts getting a bit aggressive. You see, he's a bit drunk. And he shouts, you're talking a load of crap. You're in Gibson's pocket. I know Steve Gibson. Steve Gibson knows me. I'm not in anybody's pocket. I don't give a flying how big or small or whatever you are. I've got an opinion. Nobody will stop it. But when this guy says that, it's obviously his first trip to the Legends Lounge, because I'm a straight talker. I'm in bed with nobody. I respect Steve Gibson. That was my honest opinion. He's ploughed in millions for years and years. Other people have gone, go for him, go for him. He's bowed to it. He's got a wad of donkeys and he's sort of spent millions on crap. Now we need to try a different route. And this is what he's doing. This is a modern game. Loads of clubs are doing it. European clubs have been doing it for years with the director of football. We keep going on about this director of football. As I say, I don't know what you need to be a director of football, but I bet it's good money. I wouldn't mind being one myself. What do you need? You don't need to have played, you don't need to have managed, but you've got the biggest job at the football club. Bringing players in, recruitment, and getting players out, and dealing with loads of other things. I don't know. People say, oh, our director of football was on. I never listened to it. I've seen some quotes, but the quotes are, I don't believe anybody. I don't believe anybody. I question everything. When you can't prove something, you can hear everything. Go, oh yeah, we tried this, we done that. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. We'll never know. We'll never know. So, Beleza was diabolical for Barbara. Barbara's a big fan. This is where Carrick might as well come out and tell everyone he's not happy with the transfer business or the squads. Darren Dye. He's been left with the squads and what he's been left with, because now the blinkered fans that won't have a word said about anyone else behind the scenes will want him gone. Look, there's no doubt, as it stands at the minute, Michael Carrick's under pressure. He knows he's under pressure. You can't draw against Rotherham, draw against Sunderland, beat today. Well, first half was brutal. And we're going down the league. Of course, people had, as I say, I think, are we points above the weight? No. Are we below where we should be? Probably not. I think this is the reality. I predicted, if you look at these over, if you rewind it 3 months, I said we'd be mid-table. Well, at the minute, yeah, I'll be happy at mid-table. And then the summer, I mean, I was walking with lads the other day, and one of them went, we'll spend about 20 million in the summer. I nearly threw him in the River Tees. We won't spend 20 million. What are you on about? 20 million? We don't spend that kind of money. I think the problem lies deeper than Carrick. can't keep blaming managers. But Gary, this is where you're wrong as well. Carrick's not the manager. He's a coach. Managers was, I think Pep's a manager. I think Klopp's a manager. I don't think there's a lot of managers out there. Postecoglou's not a manager. He's a coach. The other two big boys, I think, the big dogs, I think they are the managers installed to a degree in control. But I'm down the country and all around Europe, been doing it for years. Director of football is the most prominent figure at the football clubs up and down the country. That's the role. As I say, I don't know what you need to be one, but they play major part. And when the coach gets sacked, they go hiding under the bed or get away with it because they're praising the top boys more than the coach. They want to help the coach, of course they do. But they talk every time this guy, the director of football at any club, when he sees somebody and goes, he's a good player, he has to go to the top boys, i.e. the club's chief executive up and down the country and the chairman, has to have it out with them. He's pig in the middle. And they can say, no, we're not getting him. So he goes tail between his legs, tells the coach. So he's in a bad position as well. Only free agent player I can see looking is Lucas Joa. Despite clubs saying they weren't bringing in loan players today, 4 loan players played today. Yeah, that's right. There's a few loans sneaked in, yeah. He wasn't that good. I think you're referring to Crooks. Yeah, but he wasn't that good. But with no replacement, it's another man down. So Richard, I had somebody today saying, I didn't like Crooks anyway, he's better going. Well, if I'm Carrick, I think, no, I need him here unless we're going to replace him. Liz, the coach says, Carrick says we didn't want him to go. Crooks, obviously he did, or would have stopped him. So Carrick says we didn't want him to go. Well, we could have kept him because he's under 18-month contract. We sell our strikers, cannot hit a barn door. What did you expect? It's all we deserve. I'd like to argue with that, but I don't think I can argue with that. It must be demoralising for players to have no focal point up front. Well, that's what I'm saying, Middlesbrough fan page. That's what I'm saying. I've went last couple of weeks and been critical and whatever reason, and whatever I've witnessed. Don't forget my viewpoints aren't to upset people or go in bed with people. It's just to give my honest opinion. But I'm looking today and I'm feeling sorry now for the players, the team, and Carrick. And obviously the fans. The fans are kiddie to a degree. Some of them are knowledgeable. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but some of them can't see the wood for the trees. The modern game is all about this. Carrick will carry the can, but Carrick's not making all the decisions. He picks a team. He trains a team. He doesn't pick the players that go and the players that come in. That's the modern day way of running a football club. So we're no different from anybody else. But when it's going good, everything's hunky-dory. When it goes the way it's going now, people get agitated and aggravated and want to ever go. And that's what's happening. And if I was in the team now, I'd be looking for, if I was Dale Fry, a local borough lad, looking up the pitch, we've lost a goal, a crap goal at that, and we're getting pummeled, I'm thinking, dear God, we've got all the midfielders playing up front, we've no natural striker. Lattilaf's injured, Coburn's not in the squad. Arpon went last year, top scorer. We've sold the big man recently. It must be soul destroying for the players. So I'm sympathising with the players now. I'm not going to go, I've had to go at them the other weeks, and I'll have a go today first half. But now I'm looking at the other side. As a player, I'd be saying, having a drink with the lads, a soft drink, of course, I'd be saying, if I was frying it, I'd be saying, this is a joke. I've been here for years, I've signed a 4-year contract, and I'm looking now and everything just dismantling round about us with nothing coming in. Players talk like that. They won't say it publicly for obvious reasons. Borough's good run early in the season was the time when Josh played up as centre forward. Form poor since he's been injured. Coburn gave a good stint. I think we only got beat once in about 12 or something when Josh Coburn was playing. But don't get me wrong, is that because of Josh? Is that just coincidence, or when a better vein of form? It could be anything. It's a result of business, Mohammed. It is. Robert Line says, diabolical today, no pace, recognised striker, slopping the ball, lack intensity, again in a play. Too many weak players. Do you think Carrick is overhyped? Our recruitment should have been looking for last year for strikers. Our scouting should be monitoring long in advance. That's from Robert Lines. This one here, sorry. What are you writing, Bernie? Would you start Dieng and McGree on Wednesday? Well, I would. They're first. I class them as first team. I think the goalkeeper last week, apart, I think, yeah, he had a couple of ricks in his time filling in for Dieng, but I think the boys done well. But Dieng is our number one keeper. I'd put him in. McGree, I don't even think it's home to debate. McGree should be he should be first on the list for me. So Diabolical today, you think Carrot is overhyped? No, I don't think I don't believe anything about hype. When I hear hype, I go with what I see, not with what I hear. I don't overhype Carrot. I think he's a good young coach. Hopefully he's got a great future. But he's learning, for me, he's learning the reality of being in this role as coach. Last year, everything was hunky-dory. The recruitment brought in great players, unfortunately on loan. They all disappeared. Now he's been dismantled. Everything's been blown to smithereens. They've replaced it with players not as good, building for the future. Well, Carrick hasn't got a future at Middlesbrough. I hear people saying, oh, what do you mean? No, I mean, he's not going to be here for 4 years, is he? Nobody lasts 4 years. Carrick could be gone overnight, puff of smoke. That's how flimsy life is and football is. Things can change, flick a switch. But Carrick knows, and we know, and anybody out there that's got an ounce of sense and knowledge about football knows that Carrick, along with other coaches, managers around the country, you've got the top dogs, as I mentioned earlier, you know, Klopp and Pep. Yeah, I get that. But where we are in this division, managers and players and staff come and go overnight. So, regarding recruitment and looking in advance, I remember Warnock saying, yeah, we've signed 4 players, can't remember who they were, 4 players at Middlesbrough for the future, and I says, well, Warnock won't be here in the future. I was right, of course I was right, because that's what happens in football. But I get what you're saying. I think you're talking about the window. When the window's coming, we should know who's available, who's the right fit. I keep hearing this, that's a cop-out for me, the right fit. If you score goals, you're a goal scorer. No matter what division. If you score goals, same size of goals, no matter what division you're in. I kept going on about the boy Longstaff. I don't believe we're ever in for the kid. I've not watched him as a player. But I've looked at his goals. 41 goals. 21 this season. Wow. Some tally. But I hear fans a day say, but he's low division. I was in the low division. It can happen, you know. Get players in low divisions that score goals, because that's a bad habit, that scoring goals, you know. That's a bad habit to score goals. Well, it must be, because we seem to look at everything else in a player, but we don't look at his goals. We've signed all these players technically good, fast, work rate, runs miles, but he doesn't score goals. The groundsman must get fed up putting the goals up. Let's stop making excuses. This was always going to happen. We're not good enough. Another season gone. Nowhere. Stephen Bentley. Ian Woods, Bernie, put at the back all season, nothing up front. Million miles away from finishing the playoffs. I think that's a realist comment. I don't think you're trying to be nasty and everything. I just think that is the reality. And I think sometimes we need to just face up and say we're a middle of the road championship side. There was no statements of intent in January or at the start of the season. We signed 12 players, novices, unknowns, probably knew 2 out of the 12. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But we knew it was going to take time to develop. But coaches don't get time. The backroom mob do. Not the coaches. If it doesn't happen, they've gone, puff of smoke. We'll be lucky to finish in the top half for Tony. Well said, Matt McNeil says, just dead or no playoffs. Dear God, Kev, you want to get him out of your head. Bristol with a good defence. Borough had chances. Bristol tore us to shreds first half. Should have scored 4. If you're at the game, you'd agree with that. The second half, they went into a shell and just started blocking up, trying to frustrate us. And we were getting at them. I didn't get their philosophy. I know they're 2-0 up, but if they've got a third, it was good night Middlesbrough. But they just went in the defensive and we came into it and started putting them under pressure. But they clogged things up. They were getting blocks. The keeper, keeper had great saves, but some of the saves he had, I think he was putting the Hollywood saves on. They were right down his throat, middle of the goal, punched it, parried it. They were good saves, but bad finishes. Then there was a couple of decent saves the lad had. Matt Wilson says, definitely not good enough today, Bernie. We should have brought the subs on at least 10 minutes before they finally did. But now we get 2 tough away games. Preston away, games at Preston and Leicester. I need some point from them. Up the effing borough, Bernie, from Matt and Jojo. Matt and Jojo, ardent borough fans, travel the country, no doubt spend a lot of hard-earned cash, and they'll be there through thick and thin. And that's what you should do as a fan. You have a moan, but you still support your team. You still turn up to support them at Riverside. Travel away if you can't afford it. Totally get it. But we've all got opinions, opinionated game, and we're all frustrated at the minute because things aren't going to plan. I hear all of you saying, Bernie, but tell us the 3 things we need to do for next season. 3 things? Why did you only cherry pick 3? We might need 100 things. We need pace. We need out and out good defenders. No messing. Defenders who don't fanny about at the back, who compete in battle and scrap and boot opponents. I think we're too nice in defence as well. Midfield, we need guys who's going to help the defence and chip in with goals and create for the scorers. And obviously we need goal scorers. But we need pace. But there's so many things, but a million miles away from where we want to be. As I say, the club need time to build. But my question is, have the fans got the patience to build? Going with today, they've not. And I don't think they have. I don't just mean Middlesbrough fans, up and down the country. If it's not going to plan, the fans soon get on your case. As I say, today was the first time I've heard boos for a long time. We tried to play through the middle the entire game. Passing to a player with 3 men on them is ridiculous. This is for Rob Todd. No movement, no width, central target man to aim for on the pitch. I thought it was awful, and I always try to remain positive, but not many positives to take from today. Yeah, so Rob admitting that he doesn't usually see, well, he's not a critic, I think that's what he more or less means, but today there was no positives to take from the game. Robert Hughes says, if McGree can't get in that team from the start, we've no chance. Azaz and Belazer are terrible. Carrick subs are terrible and so predictable. Yeah, look, there wasn't a lot. I wouldn't cherry pick any players that played bad today because they were all bad. They were all bad. I've seen anybody that's shone or looked to business or deserved praise or plaudits. Didn't see it. But McGree, dear God, for me, I've said it on here, McGree's the best player we've got. Great left foot, great engines, great energy, can create, can score goals, can defend, can tackle. He's always up there, full of vibrancy and passion. And if he can't get into this team, dear God, as I say, no chance. Can we sign you, Malcolm and Gatesy from the 3 legends? And you bump for Tony. Tony's a comedian. Malcolm McDonald, I don't know, he's got bowly legs. No, you get his legs are not. Gatesy, Joe Gatesy. I could still do a bit, I think, on the come off the bench, Tony. But Tony mentioning that. So with 3 legends for the younger viewer was a show. It was right over the North East for 12 years, 12 very successful years. The biggest show around, even in the country, going with what they call rage figures. But we all fell out. It wasn't amicably. You'll get all the PC for clubs there. He left amicably. We didn't. There was ding-dongs and we all fell out and we all went our separate ways. And when Gatesy and Martin were having talks in clubs and pubs around the North East, they were both telling stories about each other, how he done him and he get done, and we fell out this. And so somebody came up with the idea, why don't you ask them to get back together and we'll do a night in Middlesbrough? Well, we are. So I get in touch with Eric Gates. I said, I'm pally with Gates and Malcolm. I get in touch with Gates. I says, all right, Gatesy, not going to mess about. Is there any chance you consider coming back and doing a 3 legend show with myself and Malcolm? I mean, people are saying Mickey Horswell. This was the original. So the guy that asked me asked for the original. The original was Eric Gates, Malcolm. I think it's because they know the big fallout. Mickey Horswell done it. I'm Mickey's pal. I'll text Mickey and tell him what's went on. But it's not as if he was forgotten about. Mickey Horswell was great for me. Bounce off. But it was the original lineup this guy wanted. So anyway, phoned Gatesy. He says, I agree, I'll give the, use the C word, it, meaning on the stage. I don't mean boxing verbally. And then I got in touch with Malcolm, and Malcolm get back to me, yes, that should be fun. So, yeah, I think it'll be a great night. It's in the Diamonds in Middlesbrough on the 3rd of May. Tickets are going well. We've a couple of guys booked tickets today from the lounge. Asked how do you book them, I gave them. It's 7.enterprises, the word 7.enterprises at hotmail.co.uk. So Mark McDonald, Eric Gates, and don't forget Mark McDonald, for the younger viewer, last guy to score 5 for England. He was on a par with Shearer, if not better. He was certainly quicker. Goals galore. I've seen clips of him on the YouTube. People used to tell me he used to carry guys on his shoulder, defenders, and score, and I thought, what a load of old tosh. He was some player. Eric Gates, big matey man, worked for years with Gates in Mountain. Eric Gates, great number 10 with Ipswich Town under the late great Sir Bobby Robson. Won the UEFA Cup with Ipswich, went to Sunderland, him and Gavadini, the G-Force of a cult. I thought it was G-Spot. The G-Force. So it's going to be a great night. So if you're interested, 7.enterprises at hotmail.co.uk. Yeah, I think there'll be a few. We'll need to get a few. Might need to get a boxing ring. I rate Fry, but don't think the pressure of captaincy helps him. Probably not, Martin. What is this Red Radio on Monday? Never heard of the Red Radio, but would like to tune in. That's the Borough Fan 86. So what is so? Obviously, I'm continuing to do this, and I've got my sponsor, and I'm delighted doing this. I've done it for years. I love it, and obviously, I love the yous getting involved, because yous make it. Without yous, there's nothing. It's like the football. If there's no fans, there's no game. And if there's no people on here contributing, then we can't do it. This is where you vent your spleen. There's a bit of honesty, a bit of directness, criticism, happy, whatever. But Red Radio is a local station here in Teesside. I mean, hey, the station's here. We mean that. The thing is about, it's commercial radio. It's called Red Radio. I've never listened myself, I'm being honest. I half knew about it, but didn't know anything about it. I was approached before the festive period. I said I would think about it, with plans to meet up again. I did meet up again, listened to what I was told. Obviously, they need to try and get sponsors, because it's commercial radio, which you have to do. And when you're in commercial radio, you have to be good at it, because if you're not good at it, nobody will sponsor you. And if you're hopeless, then the radio shuts down. But for me, everything's been geared. The BBC here in the Teesside area has ruled the roost for years. No competition, don't have to be the best, because we pay for it anyway with your licence. So that's the thing about BBC, up and down the country. I'm not being critical here, up and down the country, BBC rule the roost, because everything's paid for. If they had to go and get money off sponsors and sponsorship, they'd probably go under. Because I listen to I don't listen to BBC now anywhere. I don't think a lot of them very good. I don't think they've got much opinions. I don't listen. But over the years I have, whether it's national or local or whatever. So that for me was a hook to think, do you know what? Yeah, let's go up against them. Let's give the Teesside public something to really bite on that's true. And I'm not saying they're not true. I've never listened. They might be truthful, but somehow I don't think so. Don't forget the BBC, when I was working with Ali Brownlee, the late great Ali Brownlee, Century Real, we did the commentary, we went to New York City, won a radio award. I was stiff if you like. It was because of Ali, he was top, unbelievable commentator. We won it, 3 months later we lost the commentary date with the BBC, and ever since then, the BBC have had everything going, in bed with the club, got the commentary rights, they've not had any competition, and they don't need to be good, bad or indifferent, because the public pay for it. I'd like to see them on the market where they have to actually be the best to attract backing money-wise. So you don't get anybody saying that, but I'm saying it. I don't give a flying. From Bristol City Team Talk, they think they're Man City. They ain't. Press Mick, one of the even 10 minutes. Relax. Let them play about, because they can't score. Go home with 3 points. Oh, right, okay, so this is for Graham Turner. From a Bristol City Team Talk, they think they are Man City. They ain't. Press him, saying we think we're Man City. Press him, nick 1 or even 2, then relax. Let them play about because they can't score. Go home with 3 points. Easy, lads. So this is Graham Turner. I don't know Graham for Adam, but he's saying that was the Brit. Maybe he's surmising, maybe he's fantasising that was the team talk, but he could be right. The text and all that, I'll read them out and Total BS in Monday the podcast. Ashley Wayman says, we've had far too many performances like today's this season. It's so frustrating losing the ball in midfield through sloppy passing, defence exposed in the left back position again. The worrying thing is it doesn't show any signs of improvement. We'll be lucky to finish in the top half. Yeah, as I say, the fans are frustrated because Carrick came in last season, breath of fresh air, football was magnificent, to use Steve McLaren's terminology, but we were great. Some of the best football I've witnessed for many, many years. It was a pleasure and privilege to watch every game. This season's been turbulent, up and down. Don't know what team's going to turn up, don't know how we're going to play, how we're going to defend, who's going to get the goals. Frustrating. It's looking like another mediocre season to be Crystal Abel for the Borough. It's looking like a season where we'll be happy with staying in the division. That's not where the team like Borough should be. But that's your opinion, Christopher, but is this where we are? Is this the reality? As I say, the club, quite clearly, you can see we're bringing in novices, young lads, who we don't really know for around Europe and America, or Australia, whatever. We're bringing them in to polish them up and sell them and get big money in. That's what we're doing. So I think we can see it, what the club's doing as a business, because at the end of the day, they are a business. But as a fan, I see the frustration. You know, and you're saying that that's not where a team like Borough should be. Well, maybe it is where we should be. Maybe this is it for the next few years. I hope I'm wrong. I still think Steve Gibson is ambitious. I still think he's got the fire burning within. I don't know the financial structure behind the scenes. I don't know anything about that. You know, he might be covering a host of things. I don't know. I'm not privy to that. I don't know. I try to just concentrate on the team, and when I'm seeing players on the coming in, I'm even thinking about players, like I mentioned, Longstaff, who would cost $1.5 million, scored 40 goals and then 20. I'm not talking about 20 million spent or 30. I don't think that's being realistic. Surely $1.5 million was realistic. But when they were talking during the week, well, when I read the quotes, I didn't listen to it. I read the quotes, the next coach saying, no, we don't want to more or less fluff money and that. Well, we did with Piero. He was part of it. He was part of the reason Piero came in. Hop. So maybe they've learned a lesson for that, and he's not even trusted. Maybe the top boys saying, no, you've done it as well. I don't know. It is consistent. We are struggling at home. Robert Lyons. Yeah, when you struggle at home, it's obviously. Daniel Jones says, awful display today for the Borough. Tony says, to play out from the back, you need quality footballers. This season, we've conceded so many goals from mistakes trying to play out from the back. I'll tell you what, Tony, we've got off with more than we've actually conceded. We've got off with a lot. I mean, there was one a day. No, it wasn't messing about. We did mess about the back certain times. There was a time we got it on the halfway line. We've got a chance to open up, play up the left into the corner, let somebody run on it. We turned and gave it back to the keeper. The fans started booing. I didn't boo, but I felt like booing. Disturbing. Klopp is free at the end of the season. Oh man, Graham McTiernan. Come on, Graham. At least you made me smile. Anne-Marie Bailey says, how do you get tickets for the Three Legends and the Dormans Club? Are you not listening, Anne-Marie? Come on, right? Anne-Marie, you've got a pen ready. Have you got a pen? It's 7.enterprises. So it's a word 7, S-E-V-E-N, 7.enterprises at hotmail.co.uk. So 7.enterprises at hotmail.co.uk. A lady will help you and get them booked. And as I say, the tickets are going really well. I expected that. Loads of people. It was the biggest show in the North East and Britain at the time with Rajar figures. It was a great show. It was honest. There was egos. There was fisticuffs. There was Nobody was in bed with anybody or any club. All the clubs despised us, the three years. We weren't welcome. We went, but we weren't welcome. So, yeah, it's going to be quite a night. Probably a night you've never seen before or heard people talking like. Carrick, I don't blame. I blame all the clowns selling the best players, buying no replacements. If I was Carrick, would stop telling lies, saying he's happy with what we've got. Yeah, if I was Carrick getting that start, I mean, I'm a wee bit, obviously I'm old on Carrick and probably in the media a wee bit more savvy, but I'd be saying, I was hoping we get a bit more, but it is what it is. This is it. This is where we are. And I just need to accept it. I bought into the way the club's operating these days. So, yeah, I bought into it. I just need to bite my tongue and get on with it. Fans would go, wow, that's a bit of honesty. Bernie, is the email 7.enterprises@hotmail.co.uk for the Three Legends tickets at Dormans Club in Ludthorpe? Yes, it is, Tony. Somebody's deaf up there. Oh, I'm getting wrapped up. I'm going to read 7, my favourite number 7. I'll read all these out. I'll read these out on Monday. David Longstaff, my question is, why would the club announce Crooks was leaving while the season is going on? It's unprofessional for me. Well, obviously, it was another way to make a few quid. I don't know what we got. It's undisclosed fee, but we've obviously got money for him. And obviously, the rules here don't apply over there in America, so that's why you could move on. But for me, if you came to me and I'm Carrick, and I'm huffing and puffing as a team and we're struggling and we're getting a bit of stick and we're letting player go, and then Crooks come in and say, oh, my family, I'd say, well, I know you're a family man, you're a father, a husband, but I'm in charge of the football club. I'm the guy whose head's on the block. I still need you to be here unless we're going to replace you. And he's gone. And I don't think he's got any say in it whatsoever. I believe he wanted Crooks' wages off the books. But what's another few months, Tony? What's another few months? Matt Benson, Carrick says the game was never... Hold on. We wanted his wages off the books. We've just cashed in Roberts. 12-14 million. No, Roberts. Your man went to Villa. We've just cashed in him. Carrick says the game was never away from... Seriously. So Matt Benson says, Carrick says the game was never away from us. He doesn't help himself out sometimes. Just say it how it is. Game was gone. We went 2-0 down. Your opinion, Bernie, please. Oh, no, listen. I'm a Carrick fan. I would not... If I was standing right in front of him, I'd tell him straight, you must have seen a different game, Michael. You're misconstruing what actually is happening. 2-0 down. We get absolutely trounced first half. Embarrassing. I used the word woeful. And it was woeful. I'm not going to sit here and defend that. We should have been 4 down. Dead and buried. And half the stadium would have emptied. We were so bad. It's the worst first half I've seen under Carrick's tenure. So, for me, I've given my opinion. I always will give my opinion, but that's nonsense. Hello, Bernie. I sat next to you last week against Sunderland. What do you think about Carrick only bringing in his... This is for Matt Wetter. Carrick on only bringing his first sub on with 22 minutes to go, especially when Bristol brought on a fifth defender at the start of the second half. As I say, hypothetical, we can all say this and that. I thought he would have changed at half time. He didn't, but I'm not going to hold that against him. That's what he went with his gut, and that's what he thought. I knew they would change it because they played a game on Wednesday against Nottingham Forest. They played 120 minutes, so went to penalties, I believe, didn't watch it. So they had to freshen things up. But I didn't see any fatigue in him in the first half. Right, one more. Sunderland are 6th and they don't even have a decent striker. This would have been the perfect time to test Kavanagh. Right, listen, sorry if I didn't get there. I'll read these out. I need to read where am I? Yeah, thanks to the sponsors as always. Cleveland Systems Engineering, Galaxy Blinds, Ultimate Windows, Cornerstone, Ocean Lighting, Dovecot, Advanced Utility Solutions, GRS Installation, TGM Cars. Thanks for your support for a few years now, and hopefully keep going for years to come, where you've got an opinion and a platform to vent your spleen, that you're not told what to say and how to say it, and you can't say this and you can't say that. This is real, it's live. I like a bit of honesty. We're all passionate and Borough fans at the end of the day. I'm on Total BS on Monday. Total BS. I've spoken to Pallister, who's my mate. I've spoken to him in the past, but more like pals, talk about Cantona, talk about Man United, Sir Alex Ferguson. Did he encourage having a drink or a celebration after winning games? His time at Borough, when he got the the heave ho for Middlesbrough when Steve McClam phoned him up. So loads of interesting stuff there. Talk about medals, of course. So there's a bit of banter there. So part 1 will be on Monday. And Monday night, so that'll be out on Monday. I'm going to put it out early on Monday, and then on the Monday night I'm doing Red Radio. Red Radio you find on an app. You can get it. It's DAB. You get it in your car, I believe. I've never listened myself. And I'll be on for 67, giving my honest, forthright views. One of the things about joining was I says I want to be myself. I don't want anybody to tell me what to say, how to say it. I'm not going to swear. I'm going to do what I do here, but I'm going to be honest. So Red Radio between 6 and 7 this Monday. I'll be there. Join me if you can. Get it on the DAB on the radio. Get it tuned in. I'll be on every Monday for the end of the season. Then hopefully sponsorship may move on and we keep doing it. But obviously we keep doing this and podcasts and everything else. And then obviously if you want tickets for the 3 legends, Mark McDonald, Super Mac, the last England play to score 5, Eric Gates, UEFA Cup winner, played for Sunderland, and myself, we all played international. I think we scored something like 550 goals, 600 goals between us, hundreds of games. And we've all got egos and opinions, and it'll be a great night. It's 7.enterprises@hotmail.co.uk. If you want to order tickets, they're going well. I expect a great crowd. It's May the 3rd. May the 3rd. So if you're not on holiday and you're here and you want a good night, a night where there's passion and a bit of edge, that's the place to be. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. Cheers.